Welcome back to another round of DIY Helix repair, again focusing on finicky foot switches. This time I'm going to take a little detour, which I'll explain later, but for now let's open up the back panel. Unscrew all the necessary screws on the back. I like doing this part by hand because I've already stripped some of the hardware and I'd like to avoid that as much as possible. I'm using two different Phillips head size screwdrivers for the screws on the back and a hex bit for the M3 sized screws on the sides. Now that we got the back panel removed, we can take off the right wing. And then remove the 24 mounting screws that mount the PCB board to the row of foot switches. After you've removed all of these screws, you're going to want to remove the screw holding the ground wire onto the next PCB board. This one right here. If you saw my last video, you'd know that the glue holding the ribbon cable secure had gotten onto the ribbon cable itself, causing it to be stuck to the connector. So I had to cut the ribbon cable free. Hopefully your unit won't have the same issue, so you wouldn't even need to bother with the ribbon cable at all. What I'm doing different this time, thanks to B-Way Guitars, aka Burning Yen on forums, is after disconnecting the ground wire, flipping the board over onto a towel laid on the adjacent board, leaving the ribbon cable connected. Whereas on the previous video, I had disconnected the ribbon cable and pulled the board out to work on it. Pulling the board out needs to be done carefully and slowly. The foot switches we step on push down on what look like small plastic nails that push down the tactile mini switches soldered onto the board. These nails are surrounded by the springs that pop the foot switches back up, and doing this part too fast can make the nails and springs pop out. If you look at this top row of mini switches up here, which is actually the bottom row of foot switches, you could see a couple of those nails still stuck to the mini switches themselves. One. That's what they look like. just going to stick it back where it should be so I don't have to worry about it. And the other one, and there's one right there. So 9 and 10. I don't remember, but I'm just going to do them all. So instead of spraying some of my deoxit into the Footswitch area, I've decided to put some into this little bottle here. Now the bottle flows a lot faster than I wanted it to, so I've pinched off, this one needs it again, pinching off the edge, or pinching off the end piece so it drips a lot slower. I do not want fast drip at all. Another thing that I like that I saw Mr. BUA do was to mask off the area with painter's tape. I do have to say, everything in here about the Footswitches, like, they look completely pristine. But some of these mini switches, these switches look a little ragged. Some of them are black. Some of them are white. Some of them are kind of both. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm just taping all of these up so I can get cleaner in there without making too much of a mess. So when I made the first video where I cleaned out these mini switches, it was pretty daunting. I had never worked on small electronics before, other than like soldering guitar jacks. I mean, the first time I did that was with a big lighter. So, you know, I had at least a little experience. And then I've put a pickup in, soldered those wires, and that was the extent of my electronics experience, other than pulling this open. But since then, I've built and rebuilt a pedal. I've taken apart quite a few electronics, a lot of soldering. Made cables, built a pedal board with a patch bay. So I'm a little more experienced than I was before. And now this is not daunting at all. Like we took apart my clothes washer because the circuit board fried and it was gooped. And I could still recognize, you know, what I was doing in there, and it's just a whole lot more confidence once you've tinkered with electronics compared to when I hadn't done any of that. At this point, I really see this as maintenance. Like, this stuff's gonna get dirty. Things like this are gonna fail. It sucks that, you know, things cost this much and have these kind of problems. These switches Line 6 have been using for years before they developed the Helix. So it's not too surprising. So you can get these mini switches. I'll post a link. Somebody posted links in my last video, I think. I don't know. I'm too lazy to go through all the comments. But I found what looks like
a very, very similar part with similar dimensions on Amazon. So I'll be throwing those links into the description for anybody who is just fed up with cleaning these and need to replace theirs. And honestly, you know, if the time comes I need to replace mine, that's what I'll do. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm dropping a drip on, and pushing the button, wiggling it around a little bit, work some of that stuff in there. Dry it off. Start putting it all back together. Party's going my way, no way at all. Let's see if it works. Let's see how we did. Yeah, this one's still having trouble. Kind of like last time, they didn't work right away. I had to work them a little bit. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, see, look at that. Already in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Getting better. Maybe I should work a little more cleaner into them. I don't know. I'm gonna call it done for now. And I'm gonna use it. And if it keeps acting up, maybe I'll try cleaning this switch again. It seems so much better than it was. Of course, I say that now it starts doing that. Interesting the sound these make. Sounds so messed up and dirty. No, it's just the spring end scraping against the metal. Yeah, but it's acting a lot better than it was. So, you know, I'll play with it and see.
So you could see on the Helix screen the blocks being activated and deactivated. Right now there's two different distortion models that I'm toggling on and off. You could hear the sound and see the icon illuminate and unilluminate in the signal chain. And things are looking a lot better than they were before. Again, I failed to get footage of how it was before I opened it up, but you could tell from when I had it in the garage and I was still kind of unsure versus, you know, how it's acting now, and it's, you know, pretty good. I'd say that third switch on the bottom from the left still might need some love. But pretty good so far. I'll keep everyone updated as to if this thing fails again.